your host, Moses, aka King Shay, and welcome to another episode of the King Speak podcast, the podcast where we use speech to leave an inheritance and have conversations that create agents of change. On today, I'm excited to have a guest on today. He is someone that I've followed his page for a long time, and I've been inspired by the work that he's doing. So, yeah, without further ado, I want to welcome Pierce Post to the King Speak podcast.
Hello, here I am. Hey everyone.
Yeah.
Pierce Post in the building.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. I guess for most of my life, I was a pretty sad guy. I was very awkward, and to be honest, I hated myself for years. I wasted years of my life isolated and waiting for things to get better somehow. I now realized I was playing the victim.
Sounds like me. Well, sounds like the old me, yeah.
Yeah. So the old you. Talk to me about that.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think for a lot of us, we get into a headspace where we feel like the world is against us, or like we're just unsavable, and whatever situation that we found ourselves in, it's been the ploy of some higher power or some higher whatever it is. Like something's making my life bad, and it's not me. That's for a lot of people. That's the undertone. Like, the world is fucked up, but it's not me. I'm innocent, and that mindset is what keeps people stuck. It's what keeps people making the same mistakes over and over again. When you constantly look outside of yourself for the answers, and a lot of the time it comes from a sense of, as I said, like a victim mentality. Yeah. And a victim mentality is literally a death sentence, in my opinion. Like, if you're not willing to take accountability for your own actions, you're basically saying, my life, it doesn't belong to me. Someone else must control me. Someone else must decide what I do. And if you're gonna be that type of person in this world today, you're not gonna be able to have a good life, simply because, let's be honest, if you do the default things that the world wants you to do right now, you're not gonna be happy.
What do you mean by the default things?
Like what? So if we were to kind of think about what the default kind of life path is that people are expected to go through. So you go to school, you pick a subject when you're like 16, and you don't know anything about the world, but now you have to pick a subject that you want to go into, and then you go to university, you choose something that you want to study at university, you get out there, you go get a job in that field, you work, you go out, you have fun, you take drugs, you get drunk on the weekends to forget about the work that you're doing that you don't care about. Eventually you meet someone in the club, you end up having a kid with them, you're not even married yet.
That went from like 0 to 100.
I'm telling you. So many people, like, they meet their baby mum or the baby dad, like, just out. Just like on a night out, or just like proximity, whatever it is. Anyway, so now you're in a situation where you've basically just done the default thing your whole life. You just haven't really asked yourself any questions like, why am I going to university? Why am I doing this subject? Why do I want to have this job? Like, most people don't ask themselves these things. They're just like,
just gonna do it because
it's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think you've definitely heard that from your parents or older people. It's like, you're supposed to do that. Like, you're supposed to do that. And it's that kind of idea of, like, you're supposed to, which puts you in a victim mentality. Because it's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to do this thing, but when I'm doing this, I don't feel good. Well, I guess it's just the way it's supposed to be then. That's just how life is, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I feel like sometimes we have these, like, we have these situations where you ask yourself, right, I'm not happy doing this thing, and then it's only when you have that honest conversation with yourself and say, I'm not happy in this, I'm not happy working here, I'm not happy, with these people, I'm not happy in this institution, I'm not happy in this job, like. But, and again, it's like we've just been sort of brainwashed to thinking it's like, and even with men as well, it's like, there's this thing where it's like, how you feel doesn't really matter as long as you're getting a result. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But then it's like, I think when you ask, then you ask people that are older and they've gone through life, you ask them questions like, what are the things they missed? And the things they missed weren't how much money they made, or it was about, they wish they had pursued their dreams. They wish they had done the things that made them feel. I think is that thing. Sometimes there's a voice in our head, and maybe we've been socializing that way. I'm not too sure.
True.
But where there's a lack of autonomy that we have in our lives, if it's not someone else is moving the needle, I guess that was that what you mean by like a victim mentality.
Yeah, very similar. So it's just the idea that the subconscious decisions that you make, for example, maybe you're someone who, like, I'll use myself for example.
Yeah.
I'm from South East London, from like Campbell, Peckham. Like those areas are filled with like crime. Let's be honest, poverty. Of course, there's like great things there as well. But if you're like just outside there as a kid, especially for my generation, you're gonna see stuff. You're gonna see weird stuff. You're gonna experience things. You're gonna be exposed to things, and those things slowly shape you.
Yeah.
And if you're not conscious of why these, like, what is actually shaping your beliefs and like the type of person you are, you're going to misinterpret conditioning for your identity. You're going to start thinking that, oh, because, you know, I've been raised around people that smoke weed every day and that do drugs every day, and now I do it. Well, that's just who I am. No, but you've been conditioned to do that based on your environment. And understanding that, you know, just because you were raised in a certain environment, or raised around X or Y, doesn't mean that you have to also do that. But the issue with that is that once you accept that, every day becomes a battle now. Every day becomes a battle between your conditioning and then the person you want to be.
Okay.
But most people can't fight that battle because it's very difficult and it's lonely. Especially if you're by yourself, but especially if you're the only one who wants to change the journey and the like trajectory of where you're going.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, am I willing to do the hard work by myself with no validation, with no one else to be like, oh wow, you're really doing great. Can I do that without anyone else backing me up? And most people can't. Let's be honest, most people would choose the comfort of being around the same stupid, like, bummy friends, rather than taking the risk on like betting on themselves and having to isolate themselves for a couple months or a couple weeks, even a couple days, even like
isolation. The isolation thing is so. Why do you think people want to change but then can't?
Interesting. Well, I think people want to change simply because let's be honest, in this society, we're kind of taught that happiness is on the end of our next purchase, or at the end of our next victory, or at the end of our next achievement. So people are always constantly trying to chase the next thing. Yeah. But when it comes to actually obtaining that thing, a lot of the time it takes sacrifice. And let's be honest, most people don't want to sacrifice like the pleasure of now for future uncertain pleasure. Yeah. That's just the monkey brain in us. Like our monkey brain is like, okay, do something that feels good now, or don't do that thing and maybe or maybe not feel something better later. Yeah. Monkey brain's gonna be like, oh, I want this right now. Yeah. And all it is understanding that and being able to battle that and finding ways that work for you.
Yeah. There's a quote, I think that is Alex Hormozi said, you've already achieved the things you once said would make you happy.
Yeah. 100%.
You've already achieved the things you said would make you happy.
Yeah. So why would you believe the next thing is going to be the one that does it?
Yeah, it's true. So from your perspective, right, what would be the first step for someone to really get onto that road of really starting to change themselves?
Sure. Well, the first step is always the same regardless of where it is, and it's awareness. You can't change something that you're not aware of.
Okay.
So the first step is always going to be awareness, no matter what it is. And for me, the easiest way to become aware of an issue or become aware of anything really is that you have to get away from the distractions. Okay. People often think you have to add more things, you have to be more productive to kind of have a clearer understanding, or you need to just remove things. Just remove all the distractions from your life and the answers are going to come to you. When I first started wanting to change myself and become a different person, it wasn't because I started like exercising or I started watching gym videos. It's because I was in a period where I had nothing else around me. So I had I had to move back home because my mum got sick. She had cancer at the time. Oh wow! So I had to move back home and look after my mum full time. Okay. And I had no distractions. It was literally just me and my mum. I was taken to the hospital. I was just sitting there, just deep in my life, like, okay, like I need to do something, because if I continue being the person I am right now, I can't even look after her, because I had so many addictions. I was just not really emotionally available either. I just wanted to run away all the time. I was like, I can't be that person and look after my mom and look after her right now. I have to choose. Yeah. And for me, the choice was easy. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna like have to have a time where I'm gonna be like, oh, I wish I gave up that thing so I could look after my mom. I was like, no, I'm gonna do that right now. I'm going to remove everything. I'm going to remove all the distractions. Right now, my main focus is ensuring that the person that gave me life, I can keep her in this world. And that was the main thing that kind of pushed me to even start everything I'm doing right now, is that it was necessity for me. It was like either evolve or witness the demise of your mother. And that was never going to be an option for me, to be selfish and be like, oh no, I'm not going to change. I don't want to change. No, for me it was easy. And again, for me, the main reason that was easy is because the root of the change was love.
Okay.
Love is the most powerful thing that we have. Love is the one resource that you can never like
run out of.
Yeah, you can't. Literally, you can't. That's why I always think it's so strange. Sorry that I'm jumping over this.
Honestly, bro, take your time. No, honestly, man. Like I said, be free, man. Like,
of course.
Yeah,
of course. But that's why I think it's so strange when people don't show love to people. It's like, it's free. Like, you don't lose anything. Like, you know that you taking a moment to appreciate someone else and maybe make their day better doesn't take that much at all.
Yeah.
But in this culture that we live in, we're all so stingy with our love. It's like, no, like I want to give you this. Like, no. It's like, you have to understand, when you give out love, it comes back to you. Maybe not straight away. Maybe like not like straight away from that person, but it does. Yeah. It comes back to you.
There's an artist I used to listen to, his name's Andy Mineo. He used to say this one thing once, like he said, the funny thing about vulnerability is that you think vulnerability actually pushes people away, but it draws people in.
Yeah.
And sometimes by just taking a moment to really be like, this is where my weakness is, we've been socialized to think by exposing your weaknesses, people run away, and the right people are drawn to that vulnerability and say, I identify with that, and I want to, not even necessarily I want to help you heal, but we can heal together, But you were saying about like how you were a certain way, you had your addictions and all these sort of things. Yeah. Where do you think that really all came from? Where do you think, because everybody has a certain, they have a default subconscious framework, right? And we know that's based off socialization, is based off primary, secondary, so your parents and how your parents have raised you, going to school and the circumstances, and also your environment, and then also just general just pathways of life, right? But where do you think the majority of those thoughts and the way that you have been programmed to be at that time, where do you think that came from?
Well, it's interesting you say that, because me and my fiance actually did like a course on wellness. So we did it was like an online course. I think it's from Harvard or something. I think it's the Science of Wellbeing. I think I do recommend that for people out there.
Okay.
It's a really good, interesting course, and it kind of explained a lot of the subconscious kind of mental health stuff that we kind of go through that we don't really understand.
Okay.
And it made me understand that literally almost 50% of your mental health, so like how healthy you are mentally, is genetic.
Yes.
It's genetic.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I just thought I was my own guy, and whatever I'm struggling with is just my thing. But no, it's like half of the things you struggle with is based on your genetics, based on your DNA. And that just kind of, for me, it took the weight off my chest. It's like, oh, okay, I get it.
Half of it's actually
half of the shit. Half of the shit ain't my fault. Half of the shit ain't my fault. Okay. Yeah. So now I don't have to shame myself for everything. Yeah. I understand there's links. Because for example, like I would look at my dad, I'm like, oh, I see why I shut down. You don't know how to explain your emotions ever. You've never been able to be vulnerable one time. I understand why I struggle with that sometimes. Okay. Or like, I look at my mum. Okay, you like to people please. Okay, I understand why I do that now. Yeah. Because that comes from you. So half of that is genetic. Another half is literally just based on your experiences, especially from like the ages of 2 to 7. Yeah. Those sort of years. And again, that's completely out of your control. Let's be honest. I don't remember what the hell I was doing when I was 7 years old. I don't know. But that guy, whoever that was, that version of me, that is part of who I am right now. And I think also being able to not constantly, but try to actually look at yourself like that inner child. Yeah. I think that's really, really powerful, especially as men. I think that's something we don't do at all.
The deep work, the inner work.
Try and understand that, I am literally just the grown-up version of that little kid that used to run around and get excited and stuff. Yeah. And I think sometimes as men, we feel like we have to let go of that kid completely and be like, okay, I'll pack you away here. Yeah. But when you do that, you end up just kind of having this really empty feeling where it's like, I'm performing all the time.
Nothing feels full.
But nothing feels great. I'm not enjoying my life. I'm just performing for people.
Yeah.
And it's because you're not allowing your inner child to really come with you on the ride. Like right now, we're both living the dream of like a version of us from like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to be aware of that, bring awareness to that, you're just like, oh, you know, it's just another day. That's right. Like, let's be honest. Like when you're like a 5-year-old, you'd be like, oh yeah, when I'm older,
you wake up and
I want to drive a car. I want to like have freedom. I want to buy a house. I want to do this.
Yeah.
And you do it. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's whatever. No, like, be excited about your life. Be excited about the stuff you get to do. And I think that kind of keeps you grateful and grounded for everything else.
Do you know what I think is interesting? I think it's that basically there's like this weird thing where being excitable as a man is being excitable as a man, is somewhat like you're too excited. Like, why are you too... It's like there's a very fine line between, yes, I'm passionate about my life, and it's like, okay, now you're a bit goofy. But then it's like,
there's too much policing.
There's too much policing.
There's too much policing when it comes to guys. It's like there's like who's creating all these rules for us, and like no one can name the guy that created the handbook for masculinity or for men.
Yeah.
But everyone is just running with it.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't we questioning this? And I think nowadays the younger generation are. I think Gen Z are definitely questioning a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
They're a lot more expressive. They're a lot more like open-minded. They're a lot like less like bigoted and all that kind of stuff than like maybe our generation and past generations, which is cool. And I think there's also a sense when it comes to men, which is the idea that we all must fall in line. I think that's like a silent rule that men have. Like there's hierarchies, there's silent hierarchies of dominance when you walk into every room that guys are very aware of, that I am trying to like engineer out of my brain because I don't want it anymore. I don't like that. I don't like the kind of mind games that guys play with each other. I don't like the kind of silent judging that guys do with each other when it comes to like just material stuff. It's boring. But the thing is, when you opt out of the game, people think you lose. People think that, oh, okay, then you've lost. It's like, no, I don't have to like live my life based on the rules that you're deciding to live by. But when you're a man and you like kind of express that, people are going to look at you like, oh,
you're not losing if you're not playing. Yeah.
Like, why am I playing a game that doesn't benefit me? I've seen how I've seen like the end goal of this game. I don't want it.
But don't you think there's an element of it where it's like, I mean, for me anyways, I don't really subscribe to the idea too tough, but I am aware there are some sort of, I guess, unseen, I should say, hierarchy that it does exist within male spaces, right? Sure. And it's like, I remember there was a conversation, I forgot someone, Andrew Tate, something like this, but it said like in the back of someone, in every man's mind, small voice, it says like, oh, okay, like you size them up a little bit. Okay. And I think that's natural. I think that's just normal. I think it's just how men are designed.
I think that's like the DNA.
Yeah. I think it is there, but I do think there is a level of like, that level of healthy competition does fuel a man. I think it is necessary at times.
Sure.
But when it's to the point where it now becomes punitive, and it's like, if I don't do this, then I am not a man. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's when it becomes a little bit toxic, where it's like, now you've walked into a room and instead of saying, okay, cool, how do I measure up in terms of how can I better myself, or what elements am I seeing that because I think at the end of the day, a lot of it is like, it is admiration, right? When you come down to it, like there are certain things you see and it's like, okay, I admire this person's confidence. I admire this person's provisions. I imagine this person's resources. I admire, the way that this person's able to speak, to command a room. And rather than seeing it as a reflection of their lack of, it should be an inspiration to be like, to be more like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's how I frame it anyways.
No. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time it's like, what are we actually comparing ourselves to though? Just our vision of this person? Because it's
the idea of the person.
Exactly, because the idea of someone is very different.
It's different to the reality of a person.
Because let's be honest, like if tomorrow you decided you're like, oh, for now on, when I post on Instagram, I'm just posting cars, like bottles,
Yeah.
People are eventually going to be like, oh, this guy's got motion. Oh, he's so cool. But in reality, like I'm like in my mom's basement. I'm just like down bad right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, am I chasing a imaginary vision of someone?
Yeah.
or am I actually chasing the reality of someone? And I think most of the time it's division, because men don't allow each other to see the reality of each other, which I think is a problem. If we don't actually get, if we're not able to actually have these kind of conversations with each other and actually like get to know each other on a personal basis, rather than just, oh, I see you've got this thing, oh, I see you do this thing, we're always going to be just chasing shadows.
There's this there's an idea that your expectations dictate your happiness far more than your circumstances too.
Sure.
And because of that, right, we always are in a race of envy, because we always believe, the problem is that we always believe that somebody else is happier than they actually are. Do you know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And when you have those conversations, I've been doing a lot of conversations, I guess, in the past couple of months about others, which is the idea of like sometimes taking a step to look outside of yourself. You start to realize that, one, my problem isn't as big as I thought they were. Someone else has a problem that's probably just as bad. Like I'm sure when you do your one-to-one sessions, you're thinking, damn, like I'm here to help you, but bro, like I'm glad I have my problems. You know what I mean? But then also on the flip side as well, you also begin to, that veil gets taken down, and then you begin to realize to yourself, you're just a human being just like me. And this whole mental sort of war I've had, not even with you, but with you in my mind, doesn't actually exist. No. Right now, all I've done is just I've made who you are as a reflection of the insecurities I see within myself. And I've basically punished myself into a state of sadness, because I feel like you are doing and having, and you're happier than everything that I want. But I feel like I should have that too. But you don't even know they even have that in the first place.
Again, this is exactly like what we were talking about before, like where the whole idea of, if we're going to like encompass all of this together, is literally just you, and what you see in the world is just a reflection of whatever you think.
Yeah, what you said.
Whatever you think.
Said is it's
like at the end of the day, it's really just you and whatever you think.
Yeah.
Shout out to El Sweatshirt. But yeah, like it's a fact, because let's be honest, like we might look at the same person and see completely different things. Like you might, like for example, like look at someone on the street, and you're gonna notice, oh, maybe you'll notice that what they're wearing, maybe you'll notice a little piece like the earring or something, and someone else will notice them and just judge them as something straight away, completely different from you. And it's important to understand that, like, I don't have to like identify with your perception of me, because it's very personal to you. Like the way that you view someone else is very personal to you, but people really struggle to see that, even when it comes to, as we were saying, like people like Charlie Kirk. Like someone else is going to see Charlie Kirk and see the human in him. Other people are going to see him and they're going to see Hitler. Literally. And it's like we're both arguing, but we're seeing different people here. You're arguing. You think you're arguing about Hitler. I think I'm just arguing about like a racist white dude. Who's dead now. Like we're not arguing about the same things. I think that's, people don't understand how to conceptualize that we're not always arguing about the same things. We're not even perceiving life in the same way. We're not having
the same conversation.
Literally, we're not for most of the time.
But getting back to the conversation you said about how does one actually begin to work on themselves and reinvent themselves. You spoke about self-awareness, and that people need to have a level of awareness, right?
Definitely.
I was looking into some of the work that you do, and you mentioned you have like what's the 4 wins, which is, I think it's mental,
physical,
emotional,
and I think I had a psychological one.
Yeah.
It was either psychological or one that has to do with like one of your goals or something like that. But yeah, I feel like it's a very simple way to make progress in life. Honestly, I feel like I've literally just made progress just from showing up every day and doing the same boring things. I show up every day, I exercise, I show up every day, I journal, I show up every day, I plan what I want to do the next day, I show up every day, and I just do the work. And I think that's the part that people don't want to talk about. They like, everyone likes talking about the flashy stuff, like, or the motivational kind of videos, or the emotional stuff. It's like a lot of time it's just you waking up not feeling like doing the thing, and just being like, oh, all right, I'm gonna do it anyway because that's who I am. I'm the guy that does the thing. I'm the guy that does the thing. That's
that's interesting, because I was looking into what it takes to really reinvent a person. I think it's reinventing that idea of your self-concept. And you mentioned in there where you're saying that I am the guy who does X. Rather than saying, oh, I have to
do X.
I have to do X. I need to do X. Identifying yourself with a certain habit rather than saying I am being forced into doing something because I need to do something, but saying, oh no, I am the guy, I am the man who is disciplined. I am the man who does work out. I am the man who has emotional regulation. I am the man who, like, how do you build that framework?
Yeah, you can only do that by acting. That is it. You can only change your identity through action. People think you can like think your way out of depression. You can think your way out of, no, you can't. You have to act. You have to do stuff. You have to like do things that are the contrary to the negative beliefs you have about yourself. For example, when I first started like exercising, which was honestly like my last year of uni, I was a very skinny guy like for like most of my life. I would see myself as like a skinny little shit, really. And then like I had to be like, okay, if I see myself like this, is it am I confused why I'm struggling to want to go to the gym? Is it confusing to me that I'm struggling to stay consistent when I am choosing to identify as like the worst version of myself right now? I'm choosing to criticize myself about the thing that I'm trying to improve on while I'm trying to improve at that thing. How's that going to work? It doesn't work. So I decide, okay, I'm not going to see myself as a skinny guy. I'm going to see myself as a guy that is trying to be healthier. I'm going to see myself as a guy who's trying to get in shape. And just like that small example is just an easy way just to change the framework that you view yourself in. And it's very important, but you can't do that until you act.
But how do you get to that point where it's like, so I'm thinking about the person where you want to change your identity, you want to tell yourself that this is the person that I am, and then you act. Yeah. But then the results and not seeing the results.
You have to let go of the need to see results.
Okay.
From almost anything you do in life, because if you're living life results based, you're never going to be happy. Because results, again, it's based on what you believe the results should be.
Okay.
Like back to the gym. If you're like, oh, I've been going to the gym super hard for like the last month. Why aren't I seeing my muscles? It's because it's been a month. Like just because you think that like you should have something doesn't mean you're gonna have it. A lot of the time, again, you just have to keep showing up. For if you want to make progress in anything, the secret is just keep showing up. Okay. Keep going. Like I think we all live in a world where we want to have results as fast as possible with the least amount of effort put in.
Yeah.
And whoever's listening to this, I want to tell you right now, that's not how life works. You cannot get stuff unless you're willing to do the hard work. You can't get stuff unless you're willing to put in the hard hours. And a lot of time that means sacrifice. Again, back to sacrifice. Like it's an uncomfortable idea having to sacrifice things, but you have to, like, and a lot of time that sacrifice is not even like the things you're thinking about. Oh, like I can't eat junk food. It's usually like sacrificing the person you used to be.
Okay.
And that one is tough.
Yeah.
That one's very tough because it comes with a lot of like
letting go,
and that's something we all struggle with, letting go, having to be like, okay, I've had this mentality by myself for the last 10 years. I can't think like that anymore. That is so hard. Yeah, it's so hard because even for myself, when I was going through like bouts of depression and like even like suicidal thoughts, I honestly thought that was just who I was. Like that's just with the way I was wired. That's just who I was. Like, honestly, I just thought, okay, it's just me. Like I just have to go through life like wanting to kill myself. All right, cool. Yeah. But like no, it's because I was punishing myself for like not being the person I wanted to be. Yeah. And the result of that was that the suicidal thoughts weren't really about killing myself, it was about killing that identity. I didn't want to be that person anymore. That's what it was. I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to be that guy anymore. And I think a lot of people
that's so interesting.
Yeah.
You know what? That's so interesting when you reframe it, right? Because it's like sometimes it's not that you instinctively, intrinsically want to die. Yeah. It's just that you are so over, or you're so done with
bored of it,
with a state of who you are right now. You want that thing to end, and sometimes it's synonymous with I might as well just just kill myself. Right?
People don't always understand that like you can separate yourself from the like way you view yourself, but only if it's actually true. Because I think what people do is that they try and separate. For example, the way that most people try and separate themselves from like the negative things around their life is we try and like hold on to something that they're proud of. Maybe for some people, it'd be like their KD ratio on COD. Honestly, I've met people like who their biggest achievement is, I'm rank 1 on FIFA. I'm on this little tiny thing, and they hold on to that as identity. And as soon as that thing, is like their grasp on that is gone, they're like,
who am I?
And I think for me, what's really given me power is like letting go. So not having to hold on to anything as my identity. Like I don't have to hold on to the fact that I'm a content creator. I don't have to hold on to the fact that I'm that I make this sort of content or I do this thing. Like my identity is now based on like my values and like the person I am, the like how I show up for the people in my life, how I show up for myself. And you can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from me. But when your identity is based on something that is in this world, that is obtainable, something that is like tangible, it can be gone to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, you have to be patient with yourself when being someone you've never been before.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it takes a long time to unlearn a lot of the shit that you kind of convince yourself that's true.
Yeah.
Like even for me, sometimes I still kind of forget who I am right now. Like my brain is still conditioned sometimes to view myself the same way I used to view myself 5, 6, 7 years ago. And sometimes I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not that guy anymore. I don't have to be mean to myself anymore. I don't have to hate myself anymore because I'm not even hateable right now. Like I've actually become the guy that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
But my brain sometimes is like, oh, but you should still see yourself like this. It's like, no, I don't really have to.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to.
That's the thing. I think it's also weird because it's like when you look at psychology and you look at human behavior. I remember doing this a lot, doing like my masters and stuff, and just books that I've read. There's this concept of really like the psyche, and when we see it as the psyche as like, I don't know, spiritual side really. It's funny because I remember going into my lecture and like my lecturer said, psychology isn't a real psychology isn't a science, and I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, yeah, because it's not like a medical science. It's not empirical. You can't test and say this happens because this happens. Sure. It's like, oh, someone is depressed because and then you have this psychodynamic approach, you have the behavioral approach, you have the biological. There's assumptions to how someone has arrived to a certain state of being, right? And then the thing is that when you are looking at the psychology of a person, the state they are currently in, it's like, okay, did the low levels of serotonin cause the depression, or the depression cause low levels of serotonin? And it's like it gets to a point where it's like there is the unseen. The unseen is where now psychology begins to bridge into metaphysics and to spirituality, right? But then there's this concept whereby although we are ourselves, we are not our personality.
Sure.
Our personality, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, that our personality is a routine of, our temperaments, and our temperaments become our personality is actually the result of the routine of a state that we've been in.
Sure.
And then that becomes our temperament, so our mood, and then we repeat that mood so often it becomes our personality, and that personality then it contributes to our personal experience, to our personal worldview, right? But when you're talking about how separating yourself from the state you're in to, okay, this is me and this is how I've been. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not necessarily saying that it's one and the same. There's a differentiation between who you are and how you've been acting for so long.
Sure.
But that's a hard process to get your hand around, because it's funny because misery loves company, and sometimes misery can love your company.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, you can 100%. And when you remove that negative state of being, you actually begin to miss the company of that. It's like, I don't know how to operate outside of being miserable, and misery is like, great,
low key,
come here, we can hang out.
Controversial opinion, like being sad is so comfortable. Being depressed is so comfortable. Yeah, because you don't have to challenge anything. You don't have to challenge a single thought that comes into your head. Yeah, because they're all telling you how bad you are already. So all right, cool, I know. Okay. Yeah. Let me like distract myself. Let me go play some video games. All right. Still sad. Okay. I thought so. Yeah. Like, but when you start to challenge these things, when you start to try and change the way you view yourself, people mistake the discomfort of like having to unlearn patterns and having to change beliefs as meaning that you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, like, it feels uncomfortable. Oh, I shouldn't do it then. And I'm not really sure where this comes from, this idea that, like, comfort is, like, the king of existence. Like, everyone should just be striving to feel comfortable all the time. I'm not sure where this comes from. Maybe it's just genetically in us that we want to be comfortable, but comfort kills dreams. It kills everything. And I feel like the more comfortable you are, the less likely you are to probably, like, really be happy with your life. I feel like the times that I was most comfortable were probably the times I was the most depressed. Like, it's just so comfortable just to not question anything and just be like, oh, whatever happens to me. That's very comfortable.
Yeah. Healing doesn't mean the damage never exists. It means the damage no longer controls your life. Therefore, healing means losing the identity built around your pain. So you've spoken a lot about, like, healing being painful. So what would you say some of the things you had to navigate around pain?
The biggest thing, like, the biggest struggle when it comes to healing for me has been, like, forgiveness.
Okay.
And I think when people hear forgiveness, they often think, like, forgiveness of others. It's usually forgiveness for yourself.
Okay.
It's, like, understanding that, like, at times I've been my worst enemy.
Yeah.
At times I've been the person that has, like, contributed most to my downfall. And then having to forgive yourself for that. Yeah. That's so hard. And I think a lot of people get stuck in, like, depression and stuff because they can't forgive themselves. Let's be honest. Like, when you're depressed, when you feel isolated, when you feel, like, really down on yourself, you're, like, a lot of the thoughts you have is, like, I shouldn't feel like this. Yeah. I should be better than this. I should be doing something else. I should be better. And a lot of that is shame, of course. And I'm not sure how familiar you are with, like, kind of, like, the energetic spiritual kind of stuff, but shame is, like, one of the, like, the lowest vibrational.
It's called the chakra scale, right?
Yeah, it's, like, one of the lowest vibrations that you can feel. And I can vouch for that. Like, I feel like feeling shamed of yourself is probably one of the worst feelings you can feel.
Lowest vibrations.
Yeah, and getting out of that is very hard unless you're willing to forgive yourself. But forgiveness is very difficult when you don't believe you deserve forgiveness.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's also something that I've had to try to wrap my mind around, like, this idea of having to earn forgiveness. And I don't believe you can earn forgiveness. I think forgiveness is given. It's like love. It's you just forgive people if it actually feels like you want to forgive them. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And especially when it comes to, like, parents or siblings or, like, maybe even exes or people that you've, like, had connections with, and trying to forgive those people. That's something that nowadays is very trendy to be like, oh no, like, fuck my ex, fuck my parents, fuck my grandma, fuck everyone. And it's just like, okay, and then what? Yeah. And then what? Then you're just left to your own thoughts, and you're probably wondering, oh, how are they doing? Yeah. Because you still care. There's still love there. And there's an element of ego when it comes to forgiveness, that we feel like someone has to earn it, even ourselves. Like, we feel like we have to do some sort of grand gesture, gesture for ourselves, or someone has to do that for us in order to forgive them. And really, it's just a decision. You just have to decide, okay, I'm tired of punishing myself for maybe what someone else did to me. Yeah. Because let's be honest, when you hold anger towards someone else, you're the only one that's feeling it. Yeah. You're the only one that's feeling it.
Bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to feel the pain.
For real. Because I spent years, like, just being angry with people, like, angry with my parents, like, angry at my dad, and then just looking at him, and he just chilling, and I was like, yeah. But he's got his feet up on the phone. I'm like, I'm the one that's in pain, man. This guy's chilling. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
It's like having to understand. Okay, forgiveness, low key, is a selfish thing to do, but in a good way. In a good way.
Forgiveness is the most self-loving thing. Like,
honestly, yeah.
It's one of the greatest forms of self-love. It's like, I'm not gonna allow what you've done to have such an impact on my life that I'm still living in the past of the pain you've made me feel. And like you said, it's contrary to the narratives that are pushed out there, which is like, again, someone's done you wrong, deal them back. You know, it's like, you've done me wrong. It's like, I'm gonna do the same thing back to you, but not knowing that it's like, what you've done is you've now lived in a perpetual motion of, like what is this, like, you know, what do they say? Be careful when matching someone's energy, because you could be imitating someone's demons unaware. It's like, you don't know now, by matching someone's behavior, you've actually now participated in a sense of vicarious, you know, possession. And forgiveness is, you know, a level of exorcism, like to free you from that demonic possession of you've got yourself into a place now. You begin to act like someone's demon. You don't know that this person that acted towards you, they behaved in a way that was based on what they're probably struggling with, and their internal world has a reflection on how they treat other people. And then what you've done in return, you've now just said, I'm going to adopt your internal world. I'm going to now begin to live in your world. Your world is full of pain and difficulty. It's full of suffering and bitterness. It's filled with vengeance and strife. And I'm going to begin to participate as a part of your world, rather than saying that I'm going to remove myself.
It's interesting, because that's how a lot of people operate right now. If you look at social media in general, a lot of the biggest creators in social media, especially ones that give advice, a lot of it is just passing on trauma to other people. It's like they talk about like red flags, or like watch out for these type of people. All it is like, okay, this bad thing happened to me. I'm now going to presume that it's going to happen to everyone else as well. Everyone, here are my fears, adopt them as your own. And people will gladly do that. Simply because, let's be honest, a lot of people are desperate to feel some sort of safety and some sort of community. Even that they'll trauma bond.
Misery loves company.
They'll trauma, like a lot of people have like these like weird trauma bondy relationships with like creators and YouTubers and stuff, just because they've also been cheated on, for example. They've also been like betrayed, and it's like, for example, what's her name? The Wizard Liz. Yeah, have you heard of her?
Sounds familiar.
She's like a female content creator for like dating advice. She got cheated on recently. By her like ex-husband or something.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, dog. But anyway, like a lot of women were like really hanging on to like her every word, because one, she's attractive, and two, she talks about like how to attract like a really rich man, how to attract a man that's going to spend X money. And all it is like this kind of fear mongering. And then when they saw that she got cheated on, their whole world crashed. They're like, what? Even the most perfect person, the most perfect beautiful woman can get cheated on? Oh, all men are bad now. Because this happened to this person that I idolize. Okay. If it happened to her, then we have no chance. All men are going to cheat on us. It's like, what? Like this one isolated event that happened to this one person that you happen to follow on social media. You now believe that what happened to them is a reflection of what is going to happen to you, and what is happening to millions of people right now. Okay.
So you just gotta be careful about what you consume, man. It's like you're feeding yourself with somebody else's world, and then that was never supposed to be your story, you know. But at all. So I want to move on to developing self-worth as a man.
Sure.
There's a quote.
I'm with KS and he cooking out.